of you. Thank you very much for being here. We are going to talk about one of the aspects of threat intelligence, that is the use of data that you find in deep web and dark web, just to reinforce the SOC detection. So we are going to talk rapidly about the different threat intelligence aspects to see what is the kind of information in the dark net and dark web. Then we are going to have a case study with an accommodation actor, and then we are going to see how in iTrust we have been able to use this information to use and to transform for some data and to see what have been the positive points. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Sebastian Goudouli, Director of Professional Services and Pre-Sales. First of all, we have different level of threat intelligence. In iTrust, we are going to work on tactical and operational aspects, that is to say, the evidence. So we are going to collect all the evidence left by the hackers. So these are massive data that we try to automate in order to recover and treat them, process them. And then the second stage is the operational threat intelligence. We are going to say how, so the hackers have left some traces. Here we are going to try and to be proactive and to understand what are the strategies and techniques and about this information according to the kind of attack and the threat attack. This will allow us not to wait for the evidence and attack to take place, but to anticipate, to be proactive, and to see what techniques the attackers have used. The last one is the strategy. We do not use this, and it's going to be high level. It's going to be done by the governments and at high level. So everybody knows the web. Everybody you just do index by search engines such as Google and Yahoo. So we are going to focus on deep web and darknet. So deep net is information which is available easily. It's not indexed by search engines, and darknet is known by almost everybody. You need, of course, specific softwares, for example, Tor. Almost everybody knows it, and it is hidden on purpose, and it's anonymous. So we are going to use this data, and we are going to see how interesting they are. What's over there? It's just a picture. It's a snapshot. Lots of information about hacking, and you have also scams, counterfeits, sharing information, sharing different information that you can use, and files which are being shared. We talk about Tor. Yes, you can find lots of information with this channel, but not only. We are going to see this. We focus with different communication channels, videos that you can find. There are lots of information which are exchanged, Telegram, Discord, and other communication channels. As you can see this, here you use lots of IP addresses or other kind of information. So it's important for us to be able to use the automation of the different process and do some additional work manually, let's say, to eliminate the doubts. This is very important. So what is important? Now we are going to see the case study. This has been done with the accommodation actor. Of course, this is the only thing we can tell you. We carried out this study. Here you can see only a part of the team, that has carried out this case study. And of course, these are just sustainable work. It could be a one-shot information, but it's relevant because if you use it over time. So what is the background? The customer has noticed that its business sector linked to cloud services is attracting a lot of attention from cyber attackers due to its involvement in IT operations. People can buy machines for an hour, for a day. So their issue is very important. They are being attacked a lot, and they contribute to these attacks. Lots of their machines are being used actually for these cyber attacks. So it's very important because most of the time people who are attacked just lodge a complaint against them. So how can they solve this problem? Faced with these cyber threats, customers want to have the nature of their data potentially exposed on the Darknet identified and assessed. So we are going to see what are the digital signature. It has different shapes. You can have identity, email addresses, name of brands, of domain. So we can call them digital signature. Then our system is going to process that, and in the deep web and darknet, and through all the discussion channels, it's going to be a tangible element, an evidence element that discussion has taken place. And beyond this automation, we are going to carry out a manual part for the report analysis, and we are going to try to eliminate the doubts and reduce the false positives. And we are going to see which data we are going to use. So in this case, we try to monitor all the emails and domains in the different online community chats, all the interactions that can take place in relation with digital signatures that we have collected with the customer. We try to see how serious this is, because it's important, and this is the main issue, the quantity and the seriousness. This is an indicator. We are going to see whether the information is very recent, and the hackishness, the capability of data to be used by hackers. This is really an automated part. We can separate very many information, but afterwards it's a manual part, which is extremely important. What is important for us, for the quality of the service, is that information should be actual and recent and active. So through here we give you some information. Of course, we cannot put all the information because we would just provide some sensitive information of the customer. At the left-hand side, you can see through the digital signature, the discussion channels, where you can find this digital signature. At the right-hand side, with the emails, for example, when you have passwords that you can see, or where there is no password. So it's important to know how recent is the information, whether it can be used by hackers, or is it the use case of the customer. The use case really is the discussion about this information flow, and the hackers just exchange the passwords through different channels, and where they plan their attacks. Our aim is to identify the information, whether it's recent, authentic, and to do a feedback to the client, and also to SOC, because there are different kinds of information. You have the data leak, and then you have use case, and then also third-party information. So there are different levels. And also typo squatting, is the fact of, for example, a person to buy a name close to the victim by changing just one letter, using different similar characters. So for our customer, there were lots of websites which are still online, and or they had existed. So it's important to be able to show that the information, the present information and the past information, so that the customer can know whether, for example, for a while, my company has been the target of communication to just monitor my own activities. Now, how do we work? Actually, how have we used this information for the SOC detection? In iTrust, we are service provider, but also we provide also software solutions. It's which is called Rebellion. So this platform, they can just orchestrate security and by our analysts, and also reporting capabilities. Beyond this platform, we have 4 additional detection engines, and they allow us to just add this to the detection machines of the customer. So we have some 3,000 rules that provide information. We have a CTI engine, some 70 bases, whether they are public or not, a correlation engine. Then we can have different models of the risk, and then a behavioral analysis to know what is your behavior on a daily basis and to see whether you are always behind your computer. Beyond these 4 engines, the question is how these data that come from the dark web and deep fake, how can we implement them, and whether they bring an important value. So through the different engines, we are going to inject this kind of data. Sometimes the implementation is rather sophisticated and it doesn't have the same value always. So it's a matter of defense. For the rules are rather easy, but with the feedback, the value that we can take out from this information is rather average. If we look at the behavioral analysis, we saw that the implementation was very hard. So we have the data scientist team to do the modeling. So we see that the adding things to our behavioral engine is rather complex, but the value is extremely big. So everything is not as simple as you might think, and the data cannot be used so we try to automate everything in as much as possible, not to be manual, otherwise we will not be able to finish our protection mission. So here about the detection rules, we have some examples. You can have a list of users that we are going to monitor. As soon as there is a data leak, you have to be able to control better these identities and to define use case for remediation. You can see another example of DNS to integrate in an automated manner the domain name, and therefore this will allow us to have automatic answers. This is also important. In a SOC, we have to have a certain level of automatic response, and according to the background, we have to increase this level without having an impact with the customer.
With CTI, we can feed it in terms of behavioral analysis. It's a long-term analysis to see how you can adapt your model, this behavioral model, to be able to exploit the information. So these are simple examples of what can be done and how you can get the gross information and exploit it. Well, to end with this slide and answer your potential question, the aim beyond the information, the fact, for instance, that you answered the use case of the client to avoid to have attacks launched without his knowing. The idea is also to answer a simple question: is that data protected or not? Well, the aim, and that is what is important with SOC, it's the first stage. And the aim of a SOC is to collect a great number of information, but it's to complete the device in order to be proactive. This centralization helps us adapt to the client context, to see how we can contextualize the use cases and mechanically improve safety policies. So this is a virtuous circle, and we have to continually improve, and all along the contract we have with the client. Thank you. We still have a few minutes for the questions. I will ask Thomas Bourtoumieux, who is a SOC director with our group. His team participated to these surveys, and we try and build on this to work better and exploit these data and see how we can get information. Would you have questions?